This wasn't the Love Boat, and it certainly turned out to be much longer than a 3-hour tour. But the latest entry in Netflix's documentary series Trainwreck is one that focuses on the doomed Carnival Cruise that infamously became known as the Poop Cruise.
That is one big pile.
It was supposed to be a luxury cruise, a 4-day round trip from Galveston to Cozumel. But for the 4,000 passengers and crew on board, the reality proves catastrophically different. After an engine room fire destroys electrical cables supplying the entire ship, the boat is left drifting with no power for propulsion, refrigeration, lighting, air conditioning, or worst of all, flushing toilets. So this is a fairly quick documentary film as it's only about 55 minutes, but if you enjoy stories of unbelievable situations mixed with horrifying reality, you're going to want to give this one a watch. We get interviews from the passengers and crew who were on that fateful trip. Then we also hear from a CNN news anchor who covered the story, a Carnival executive, and then a lawyer who decided to get involved at the conclusion of the cruise. This is a frustrating but also wildly entertaining watch. The stories from those on board, along with the video footage, it helps to paint an unfortunately way too vivid picture of what transpired. The cruise itself was scheduled to be just a short one, 4 days, taking passengers across the Gulf of Mexico to Cozumel, with the full intent that that 4-day cruise was going to be one large moving party. And honestly, as I'm watching this, there's one group of interviewees who may need to seek out a 12-step program because just about every moment of their account related just to drinking or searching for alcohol. And as we watch the party atmosphere descend into concern, then to outright chaos, we're then treated to a disgusting rationalization of inaction by a Carnival executive. Upon hearing of their ship that's dead in the water, they send out a press release, which also manages to completely minimize the issue and omit key info that truly gave context to what the situation was. I mean, it kept yelling at the TV because we are continuously shown some of the crew on the ship just having to make attempts at communication with different ports in hopes of getting a tow. I mean, why the heck didn't Carnival just call the Coast Guard? And don't they have any means in place for an emergency? The answer to that, apparently not. Well, the whole reason this became known as the Poop Cruise is because the toilets stopped functioning, creating a host of health safety concerns. Now, the solution that was decided on to deal with all this human waste was to have people poop in red biohazard bags, which were then to be placed outside of the cabin so staff could collect them and put them into the ship's trash area. We do get interviews from a dude who is clearly not Gen X because, come on, poop in a bag, that's no problem. We could have done that all day long. Pooped in worse places out of necessity. This guy, though, was very content and intent on not pooping in a bag, and he was going to hold it in as much as possible. Surprising he didn't burst an intestine, just any of those things. Along the way, as food is becoming scarce due to spoilage from lack of electricity, which then runs the fridges and the freezers, another decision was made to make alcohol readily available and free. Because why not, right? Give unlimited free booze to hungry and angsty passengers, and everything is just going to be fine. Not so much. The accounts of what people started doing in their drunken states, they're just plain nasty. I mean, to call this a crap show is obviously an understatement, but it's not the end. And as the documentary expertly outlines, we get to see through video evidence how things go from bad to worse to unimaginable, which is then made even more disheartening when we get accounts from family members of the passengers, who they had no idea what was going on, nor why they couldn't even get in contact with their loved ones. And once the news media finally gets hold of the full picture of what's going on, it becomes a bit like a Tiger King scenario where it dominated the zeitgeist of the United States. The Poop Cruise, it was everywhere, from local and national news reports to spoofs on SNL. I mean, this is a crazy watch, and it seriously makes you rethink going on a cruise. Now, I have been on one. It was magical. I mean, I didn't go on Carnival. But the way you're spoiled on a cruise makes it difficult to want to vacation any other way. And at the very end of the documentary, we get one last bombshell that related to Carnival's terms of service. Talk about disgusting corporate greed and then CYA clauses. While it was funny in a preposterous way, it was also disconcerting. Now, the production for this, it's humorous and quick, highlighting all the nasty details while maintaining an engaging tone just thanks to interview subjects who are animated, witty, and then vividly describe the atmosphere and the environment of this floating disaster. And I appreciate that for a topic that is serious and dire, this doesn't leave us in a soured mood. Instead, it kept me laughing incredulously and then captivated by the unimaginable circumstances. There's no sex or nudity, some profanity, and just a tiny bit of alcohol-induced violence. Now, as a reminder, I don't give couch ratings to documentaries, but Trainwreck Poop Cruise, it is certainly one to watch just thanks to the perfect balance of reality, humor, and tragedy. And of course, the funny and engaging interviews. So have you ever gone on a cruise? I mean, after watching this or even knowing about it, how does that impact you going on a future one or wanting to? Now, once I learned about the norovirus and its prevalence on cruise ships, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to go on one again, even though my experience before was spectacular. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.